Godzilla 2000 Millennium. We are at the beginning of the Millennium series, folks. In 1995, Godzilla died in the end of Godzilla vs. Destroyer. In 1998, Godzilla was reanimated Weekend at Bernie's style in Zilla from Roland Emmerich. And so, literally 2 months after the release of Godzilla 98, Toho cracked their knuckles and basically said, let me show you how it's done. Hence why Godzilla 2000 Millennium is a thing. This movie is essentially Toho looking at the general direction of Zilla 98 and saying,
hey, go fuck yourself. Get that guy out of here. Piece of shit.
It tells the story of, well, Godzilla returning again. However, the story, being very similar, is also unique in regards to there are two camps trying to figure out this Godzilla problem. The first camp being the GPN, the Godzilla Prediction Network, and they are trying to protect Godzilla, while Crisis Control Intelligence, CCI, is trying to kill Godzilla at any cost. Meanwhile, a massive UFO appears, which contains a new villain for the kaiju, or for the Godzilla mythos, in the form of ORGA, ORGA. Regardless of the quality of the Zilla 98 movie, Toho had been planning to reboot Godzilla for quite some time. The news that Godzilla was going to be dying at the end of Godzilla vs. Destroyer went over like a fart in church. And so they said, he's just going to be fine. He'll be coming back. And sure enough, he came back. Like I said, 2 months in after Zilla 98 dropped, Toho re-entered the studio and said, all right, let's remix this. This feels like a commentary of everything that the Zilla movie should have been, rather than a standalone Godzilla movie. It feels like a palate cleanser. It was needed, it was necessary, but outside of that, the movie is just kind of there. It served its purpose. It was serviceable, and that's about it. The best part of the movie is the dynamic between the GPN and the CCI. They both want Godzilla for two different reasons, and the movie does an admirable job of trying to explain why and how they're going about trying to tackle this Godzilla problem. It's not just Godzilla is of the earth and needs protected, and Godzilla kill, respectively. There's nuance. It's not totally fleshed out, in my opinion, but there is a genuine attempt made to try and make this work. This is one of the first Godzilla movies of any vintage to use CGI. And it sucks. Like, it sucked from the very beginning. And with all context regarding it was made in 99, and all of that aside, it's still really bad. What makes it even sadder is the fact that there is a dude in a Godzilla suit in this movie mixed in with the CGI Godzilla. When the CGI Godzilla is on screen, it looks awful. But when the dude, like when there's a practical Godzilla on screen, it looks great. And the dynamic will give you whiplash. It also doesn't help things that they CGI'd a lot of other things, including water and just basic things. There's underwater sequences that just do not look good at all. It's not exactly easy on the eyes. This is probably one of the more boring villains in the Godzilla mythos. They came up with this ORGA guy, and first of all, for most of the movie, he's in this The War of the Worlds-esque spaceship, and then when he pops out, he kind of looks like the more jacked brother of the Muto villain from the Godzilla 2014 movie. No, not that Muto, this Muto. I wasn't exactly expecting Ghidorah or Mothra to be in that meteorite, but something better than like what we got. If I sound like I'm trashing the movie, I'm honestly trying my hardest not to, because the movie genuinely does have A, some good ideas, B, some fun fights, and C, it restores the feeling, for lack of a better word. It takes the Godzilla that I've caught on to from Showa and Heisei and says, here it is in as close to a 99 setting as we can get. This is what the American Godzilla movie should have been, flaws and all. With that in mind, I am going to give the movie a good rating. It is far from perfect. It's not my favorite. This could have been better, but for the purpose it served, it succeeded. Plus, we have another Godzilla series to tackle, so we will be jumping into a deep dive of the Millennium Godzilla series starting on Saturday with a look at Godzilla versus Mega Gyrus.